Heal to feel. Let's start this journey together. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Heal to Feel. Today, we have Chef Danielle Christy, who has changed my life with the beautiful foods that she makes and sends. So welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Chef Danielle,
So
yes.
as you guys know, I'm not very domesticated. My mom's an incredible cook, but just like failed to teach me to cook. So there's like zero interest, my poor husband. And when I do cook, I just don't feel like it's that great. And also, I'm sure some of you can relate, but like my kids are picky, my husband's picky. So even if I were to go learn, I'd like probably make this amazing dish and everyone would be like, oh, there's like green in it, or oh, there's
Okay. I want to hear more about this
Yeah.
because when I cook, it takes forever. It does dirty a lot of dishes. I do have a 5-year-old who's going to point at the little black specks on it. And then, ew, if like the egg, it's either raw
Yeah,
or it's
yeah,
overcooked. If
yeah.
it's not yellow, like in the pictures of the plastic eggs that they had in TK or whatever. But what happens? Are you slow? Are you methodical? Do you not like the way it works? What happens?
No,
Tell
I
us.
just gave up. I like gave up. And the truth is, then it became a lot of postmating. My husband is an amazing griller. Like he does, like in COVID, he just goes so into barbecuing. He does incredible stuff on the grill. But the truth is, I mean, by the time the kids are home from school and there's homework and there's sports and they're like, when?
It's true.
So I decided with all the money we're spending on like restaurants and postmating, I was like, I'm going to find a chef to come help us like make food and cook. So then I was on the search, right? And the problem is a lot of the chefs, they want to make you these delicious meals, which they are, but it's like fattening and it's restaurant meals. And then you're like, okay, I don't need like a top place every day. Or it's like if you're trying to be nutritious, it's like plain chicken breast, plain salmon. So we searched and searched and searched and then entered this angel, Danielle. And I was finding, I'm like, a health nut. So I was trying to find somebody that every ingredient is intentional and it's leaving out the bad oils and the bad sugars and all the inflammatory stuff. But I wanted yummy food. So Danielle, we had found her and she was cooking for us every day, but she lives like, far
Yeah.
from us. And then she was like, I can't come anymore. And I was like, no,
Oh,
I can't
no.
lose you. And so she's like, how about I send you food? And I was like, oh.
Oh.
She's like, I can send you once a week. I was like, let's do twice a week. So she'll send me these incredible menus. I'm the worst because I always forget when she texts me because there's so much to pick from. And I always forget to text her back. But so now we've figured out this method where she'll send me food twice a week. And I also get stuff for the fridge, like tuna and egg and all these things that you can nush on instead of like bad snacks. So thank you.
You're welcome.
because
Thank
It
you.
changed my life. And I was telling her, I'm just kind of a grazer. I don't even sit and eat a meal anymore. I'll just like graze at all the different things she sends throughout the day.
Right. And the restaurant having the Postmates, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
it's very fattening. You don't know what you're eating.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem like the sustainable route. But if you have someone that can tell you what's in the ingredients, and heaven forbid, you don't have to gain weight while eating something that tastes delicious, I always find it's in the ingredients. So I'm really excited to
Right.
hear
Yeah.
how you do it.
Yeah. And
Last week, we were talking about salads and how when a salad has fresh herbs, you always taste it in a restaurant. And now we have you to talk about like what goes in these meals that can be
Yes.
really.
Exactly. And we'll talk about more, Danielle's brought some little bites for us to try, but
And also for the people who are not going to have a private chef delivering and cooking in house, such as myself, we can also give you guys, I'm speaking to the listeners at this point, ideas that you'll give us for.
Yeah, absolutely.
and
making
you
things at
do a
home.
lot of meal preps and send
I
it to
do.
clients.
Mhm.
So it's not like
Oh, yeah.
it's not, we're not,
Fits
she
every budget.
but also what's nice too is like some days you're not hungry at certain times. So having like a chef in the home, I
Mhm.
realize like sometimes I'm not hungry at 7 or schedules change. So
You
this is
have an
nice because
event,
everybody can kind of just eat when they need to.
Yep,
you're not going
Yeah.
to be home that
So
day.
tell us, I know that you got started in the hospitality business and you worked at some montages.
I did.
Okay.
Mm.
So what did you do in the hospitality?
So I actually started and I worked in housekeeping
Okay.
in all the years that I did worked in hotels. But my passion for cooking started when I was young. I loved being in the kitchen. It was kind of my safe space, I
Mhm.
felt as a kid. Grew up in kind of a lot of chaos, and the kitchen was the only place that I felt I could be calm and safe. And that kind of developed a love of cooking. And I got great feedback from family members and things when I would cook. But then I also, about 9 years old, stopped eating and, developed anorexia
Oh, I
and
didn't know that.
yeah, and
Oh,
battled that for about 25 years.
oh
So
wow.
3 years ago, I checked myself into treatment for the second time, and it's finally stuck this time. But I went to treatment in high school, and then kind of eating didn't become so much an issue, but then it fell into I worked 90 hours a week. Like the pattern of addiction or the behaviors teetered off into other things.
Yeah.
And then when COVID hit is when my eating disorder came back in full force. And so I was about 40 pounds lighter than I am now
Wow. And you're
and
tiny
check
now. Oh my God.
and checked myself into treatment. And so my evolution of food has evolved tremendously since when I was young till now. And I truly do know the value of what food can do to make you feel good,
Yeah.
and how to fuel your body properly, and just what cooking can also do for you as well. And just finding a thing that makes you feel safe and lights you up and all those things in life.
That's incredible. So it's really, we had Crystal Minkoff on
Oh, yes.
a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about her battle with an eating disorder, and she actually went to culinary school because she wanted to love food again. And that really, she said, it's obviously always going to be a battle, but she said it really helped her. So that's really interesting because we were saying, like with drugs, if you're a heroin addict, like you don't need to be around it anymore. But food is such a tough battle because you need it to survive. So if that's your kryptonite,
It's
then
a tough one.
It's definitely I mean, I feel like it's my kryptonite. I know it's not yours, but also, you know, um, Shinka was talking about food. Like, it's hard not to overeat sometimes because it is so comforting,
yeah,
right? So, like, I always try to say while I'm having a sandwich or a salad or whatever, I want to pick something that's healthy because I don't know if I'm gonna eat too much or too little, so let me eat something that is gonna be healthy instead of something that's fattening. My favorite thing to do is to eat a salad slowly while watching reality TV. So, I want the salad to every bite, I'll enjoy it more if I know that I took extra time to put in, like, some fresh basil, and I'll make the basil I'll even grate it or cut it or do whatever I need because I want to lengthen the process or the
yeah,
time.
And I think it's also important to with social media, it's so hard, I feel like nowadays, because there's so many labels and everything's villainized and all the things, but just really like what foods nourish you and kind of what can you add into your day that will make you feel better instead of like focusing on so much eliminating all the things. Because I know for me, like throughout starving myself pretty much my whole life, like my gut, everything's a mess, like your stomach and all that. And I've never been better now that I'm actually don't have anything off limits. Like
Mhm.
that's
my
incredible.
Yeah, you
body's
look
great.
great.
Like I eat all the things now and I feel great. Whereas
That's
before, if I didn't do the dairy or I believed I had gluten issues forever, like all these beliefs that I held on to, like now that I eat all those things, my stomach's great.
That's
I don't have
incredible. Well,
issues. So
congrats on like
thank
that's
you.
not something that is easily done. So, we really applaud you at that. Did how did you learn about because you said you became a nutrition like
Like,
counselor,
yeah,
right? So you got into that because of what you were battling and you
yeah.
wanted to was that something, I mean, tell us
A, li-
about how you got into that.
a little bit. I think, how do I say this properly? I think for a lot of ways, when I wasn't eating and I was so hungry all the time,
Yeah.
it was a way for me. to learn about the things I know I needed to do for my body, but I wasn't doing them for my body. So then it just became, I wouldn't say a little bit of an obsession, because then I got into like, oh, like how the body works and all how protein and fat and carbs and all that works within your body and the energy systems. But then I wasn't doing that for myself. So it was kind of like, it's kind of like, great, you're like reading all the things, but you're not doing the thing for yourself. And now that I am doing the thing for myself, it's like night and day.
Well, you look amazing.
Thank you.
You do.
And
You look really
you
healthy.
look healthy, and I just love that I know
A
for
natural
me, like, I'm
healthy.
very health conscious. Have never had like issues, with food, but I am like health conscious, and
Yeah.
I really, once you really go clean, meaning like you're very know the ingredients, when I do eat ingredients,
That aren't
it's like,
clean?
yeah, like if I eat processed sugar, for
It's
example,
gross.
I never used to know this, but I'd get so much I get instant inflammation. My neck
Yeah.
starts hurting. My
Mhm.
this. So now I just look at it and I'm like, that's not going to make me feel good.
Mhm.
And then I get Danielle, who makes the most incredible, like, we're going to try some today, but desserts and protein, they're all like protein desserts and they're made clean. And so
Yeah.
I know if I have a sweet tooth, I can go to the fridge because I'll have you make a few different things and I'll go grab a bite of something and I'm not getting the inflammation. And I know everything you make me, I feel safe. Like, I'm like, this isn't going to make me, it's not about fat. It's more about, this isn't going to make me feel terrible,
Better.
like inflamed and this and that. And I just feel safe eating all your food because I'm like, no matter what it is. And she takes foods that we love and she
Yeah.
puts a spin on it. Like, you made bolognese for us with healthy bolognese on spaghetti squash. Like, there's all these twists that she makes these meatballs that she'll send me menus. I'm like, can I just have the meatballs? She'll make these like turkey meatballs with
Yeah.
marinara with like mozzarella in the middle. And just to have one as like a snack is so much better than going to grab Doritos or
Oh,
chips
for sure.
or.
The first time that I had to be on a diet in my entire life would have been in my teenage years, and that was after a lifetime of no limits. There was nothing in the grocery store that I wasn't allowed by my parents to put into the shopping cart. And we would cook Persian food, which had a lot of ingredients, but it also had a lot of olive oil, and the rice is white rice. And so we just were all, we're going to be genetically, we'll look like whatever we're going to look like. And when I'm in grade school and elementary and high school, I did so many sports that I may have been able to pull it off, but by the time you're talking about processed foods, I actually find it to be fascinating that we haven't explored this together, you and I, yet, because I watch you and I do see you make really healthy choices. And I do wonder, how does she do it? Like, what I wonder how else we learn from each other than to find out how we can share hacks or life habits. And the the thing you're talking about with processed versus healthy foods, the first time that I started to eat healthy foods in my first diet in my life taught me the same palate. I suddenly, my taste buds were retrained to have only an appetite for the healthy things. And if something was processed, like let's say a Pop Tart that my husband still buys, I'm actually like, ugh, that's so
She can
gross. It's
make
so
protein
unhealthy.
Pop-Tarts, by the way.
Okay, I'm gonna pass out. That's amazing. Because
Yeah.
and then you just want that for other people, because Tommy, my husband, um, he hasn't like exactly mastered the re train your palate. And I'm like, don't you notice that your energy takes a nosedive? Don't you notice after you eat that your body doesn't feel good? Or if you eat something that's loaded with preservatives, your mouth is you're gonna get like
But
cotton mouth and
but
dry mouth.
people but they don't notice because they're so
Right.
used to doing it. You only
Mhm.
notice when you take it away,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
like for
And I think for a lot of people too, like the processed foods, it's easy, it's quick, it's mindless eating. And they make that for a reason. Like they put those chemicals in there because they know what it does to our brain,
addicts.
and it's
Addictive.
an addiction. Like
Mhm.
you think you have two chips, and then where'd the bag go? Like, you know, so it's,
Right.
There's
it's
a
like,
hole in
yeah,
this
right,
bag.
what
Right.
happened?
What?
And they the companies, that's what they do, that
Right.
in
Yeah.
order
With
to
like
make yeah,
MSGs.
Yeah,
and
Right.
MSGs and
because
the seed oils
what
and
was what's was it the Pringles?
But
Once you
you
once you
can't
pop, you
have
pop, you
can't
just
can't
stop.
one.
stop.
You
Yeah,
know, so
that's
Right.
but
What
I
is
also grew up, my mom like cooked adult food. You
yeah.
know, I always do her accent, but like,
Please do it.
I'll do it for you guys. But this is what she says to me. I don't understand why your kids can't eat what you make. You know, it's like, you guys ate anything I cooked. I was like, okay, mom. Like, we didn't have,
It's
like
so
in South Africa,
true.
we didn't have kid menus, like
No.
chicken tenders,
Right.
hot dog. No, my mom
Uh-huh.
cooked for the household. So I grew up on a lot of vegetables and protein
That's how I grew
where
up
my
too.
Me
husband
too.
didn't really have anyone raising him. You know, and his brother
Yeah.
used to say he's kind of like a miracle. He may have been raised in the jungle. But, you know, Trev, like, he grew up alone pretty much. So he was making pasta and cereal at the age of 11 to survive.
Crazy.
So he naturally wants, like, he's either has to be health conscious and is learning. Like, he sent me a picture the other day. He was at Lovey's and he orders. Now he goes to Lovey's for breakfast every day because he forces himself to eat breakfast. And
That's cute.
he gets scrambled eggs, sliced tomatoes, and avocado. I almost
Love
fainted.
it.
He hates avocado and he hates tomato, but he's
Wow.
learning to like, and he's like, it's actually really good. You know, where for
Yeah.
me, I actually really enjoy vegetables, but I grew up on it. And my kids won't touch it. And it makes me
Crazy.
crazy. But my son now, he's getting to the age of 12. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed like he's more conscious now about what he looks like. And like, we didn't grow up like, I didn't grow up snacking. So he's like, he told me last night, can you not buy goldfish anymore? I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
yeah. He's like, I want to eat it when it's there and I don't want to put this in my body. I was like, oh,
That's
well,
really
here.
high five.
So yeah, so I think it's coming, you know, coming into also how you're raised. So for me, again, it's natural. I don't have to think about it.
That's the
And I
one
think
thing we did.
for kids too, I think it's important to just like have it out. Like have the fruit on the counter, have the things like when they
Mm.
come home from
Oh
school,
my
like
God.
have some cheese and crackers and fruit and like out on the counter. Cause
Oh, that's
if they're
smart.
hungry, they will grab it. Or like when you open the fridge at their eye level is like food you want them to eat and grab.
Oh, that's
Whereas,
smart.
so then that's what they're seeing. But then also like kids, I know this is for me, like they learn more from what's caught than what's taught. So
What does
What does
that
that
mean?
mean?
so it's like if you're eating the fruits and vegetables and you have a great relationship with food and all those things, like the kids grasped onto that more than
Oh.
like you yelling at them like, oh, needs to be healthy. You need to eat this apple or you need to do this. Like they grasp on to more of like what they see than like what's being told to them.
Well, what
Yeah.
if they're getting in my house, they're getting cucumber from me and they're getting goldfish or worse from dad, which by the way, goldfish is like the first snack that anyone gives their kids because they pretty much are like
They
melt.
melt. Yeah.
Oh, they're
Exactly.
horrific. I even try to buy the organic version, you know, the
It's all
squares, but
BS.
it's all garbage. But
Yeah.
I think as they get older, I know my son, like his palate has completely, you know, expanded. And so like I think as they start to get older, they'll start to, you know, he's at a friend's house the other day. He's like, I had chicken breast. It was really good with like this. Can you ask how they made it? You know, I was like, oh, the
It was
gods have
amazing.
arrived.
You know,
So-
Shams had his first hamburger. He would refuse to eat hamburger until Lovey's. So
Shout out, Lovies.
Yes.
Thank you
So
for keeping us in business.
yeah, our family loves Lovey's. It's ridiculous.
And we
It's-
love
for all
you
those
back.
listening, it's like the local deli in Calabasas, and our producer Kimberly's husband's family owns it.
And I think even with kids, like having to get them try new things, like even for me in recovery, like foods I struggle with, it starts with a bite, like one bite at a time. And the more you take the bite and then then it goes to 2 bites and then 3 bites. And then eventually you're eating the whole thing. So it's like, it's a slow process and it's very frustrating and annoying and all the things, but it's like, just like little baby steps.
Because my
Get you there.
pediatrician told me that.
Yeah.
He said, shout out to Dr. Ed. He said, even if you can just get your kid to try one bite of a strawberry or whatever it is, an asparagus, then
It's a win.
exactly.
Yeah, my kids, it's hard to even like, and my daughter will go into like fight or flight, like as if the food's gonna murder her.
Yeah,
Like just
mine
trying
will-
to bite, and like, what's the big deal? Just spit it out. But some kids, her palate's like really sensitive, and
They
she'll
do the
get
gag
into a
reflex.
food,
Mhm,
and then she'll want it every day, the same thing. And I'm like,
mhm.
I just gonna hopefully, you know, as she gets older. But tell us how now, so you go study nutrition,
Mhm.
right? And then you start incorporating your food. So tell us like about, I know I had different recipes from you that are incredible, and we'll get into like the protein cups and
I'm
everything, but
getting so excited, you guys,
yeah.
because I can't even express to you how much I spend time thinking about the things that we're getting into right now with the ingredients. So
Yeah. So
just had to
tell
share
us
that. I'm
like
like
the ones that you
overwhelmed.
definitely leave out, and how do you put a twist
Yes.
on, name a
Yeah.
couple recipes that you put a twist. Tell us like your method, because again, when I go to the fridge and I know Danielle's food is in there, I know I'm safe to eat it no matter what it is. It's nutritious, it's paired with the right foods. I'm not getting bad calories, I'm not getting
Yeah.
inflamed, I'm not getting overweight. So
So
tell us.
for me, my kind of whole philosophy is like making whole foods taste delicious, and using foods that will make you feel good. So I don't cook with seed oils. I mainly stick with avocado oil and olive oil. Those are kind of my main two. And for baking, it's coconut oil. And again, a lot of people can have allergies and things like that, so I'm able to accommodate for that. But like olive oil, it's one of the most nourishing things you can have. Like
It's one of the
you
best.
know, so it's like and also it gives so much flavor and all that kind of thing. So, and I think like spices are one of the most underrated things that people don't utilize enough, and salting your food. Those are literally like can take a bland piece of chicken and then make it amazing with 2 or 3 spices. And then spices are also so nourishing. They're so full of antioxidants and all the properties that your body needs, the micronutrients.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Like what
spices.
what kind of spices?
Oh, everything from like
Cumin,
yeah, cumin, coriander,
turmeric,
paprika, turmeric,
I didn't know they had.
cardamom.
Did you know they had
yeah,
antioxidants?
oregano,
I did
clove.
because I'm
Gar-
Persian and we have
yes.
to.
Well, I know Persians use it all the time, but yeah.
But even a simple thing to like brighten up a dish, put some olive oil in a pan and you bloom your spices for a few minutes, not
Mhm.
even minutes, like a minute. So once the spices get all toasty, and then you can like drizzle that over any dish, and it's like an absolute easy way to add flavor.
And she'll use like in her desserts instead of sugar, you'll use maple syrup,
Or
right?
dates and honey and things that are
Ooh,
like that have
Like
natural.
they're
natural.
still yummy foods, but
And
you
they're
can
a
sweeten it.
superfood because a
Yes.
date is a superfood.
Yeah, and
Oh, she makes these like, what
honey.
is it? These dates with like almond butter in the middle,
Oh
or
yeah, I call them like they're Snickers dates is what I call them.
Sounds incredible.
yeah. And your kid's still young enough where
He
you
will.
can get him onto these, desserts. She'll make protein cinnamon rolls, protein brownies. Like what's in your protein brownie?
I do 2 different versions. One is with black beans and then a nut butter, an egg, vanilla, some dates, and then that's kind of that. And then another version I have is almond butter, cacao, eggs, protein powder, chocolate chips.
See, so like a kid
So it's
grabbing
like
that, if my kids would eat it, um,
Uh-huh. And you
it
can grab it. So now that I'm seeing what you have prepared for us, this is the answer. So this morning I was just thinking, what a shame that I don't have time to make breakfast and I'm running out of running out the house. And now that I'm seeing what you have, I thought if these were ready,
in your
you can
fridge.
grab these and eat
But you
on the
can, and
go.
Danielle will Uber it to you. So you can
Yeah.
just order a few things. Even like I always have. Do you like tuna?
I love
I always have
everything.
egg salad.
I really do.
But
Yeah.
that, for
I
example,
love egg salad. My
the
husband does
tuna. You
too.
know how some are
yeah,
high in mercury. Do you use a certain tuna?
I use the ones that are in the glass jar.
See, I knew
So
it.
You did know it.
so
Or
I
like
Yeah.
can't pronounce the names like Tuino,
I knew
Tutino, or
I
something
knew
like
she
that.
was using like some safe caught tuna. And then as far as the mayo, what are you using for that? Like with the
I
egg
use
salad.
Primal Kitchens has the avocado oil
Oh,
instead of,
cool.
and it's just the way I look at it is, um, like I look at the labels, and nowadays even with companies being bought by big companies, you have to pay
Mhm.
even closer attention just to make sure they're not changing the ingredients that they put in them. Um, but there's some great brands out there that are making great things to make easy meals, healthy, delicious meals at home, to where you don't have to be a rocket scientist to feel like you have to spend 8 hours in the kitchen.
Right. My cousin taught me that it's just texture. So I'm one of those people that you can tell me that you replaced sour cream with Greek yogurt, and I'll
Mhm.
say thank you for doing that because I
Yeah.
don't like the creamy fat version. I actually want to know that it's 2025. Let's get with the replacements that they shouldn't even be called replacements, but from the previous generation it is. So I love that you can teach us like these better options that are actually going to put protein into the food.
Yeah, and as protein is so important, but so are all of the other, like, fat is vital for your brain. Carbs are vital for energy. But like, and carbs have always been a struggle for me. Um from throughout my eating disorder to even it's so villainized on social media. It's like carbs are gonna bad for you. But sweet potatoes, rice, like all these things, whole foods sources of carbs are great for you. And they're also like great for your gut because if you like cook a sweet potato, eat it the next day, you get so much resistance starch from those things. Same with rice. So
Question.
yes.
Um, okay, so the moms, we were standing around the kitchen table and there were 0 net carbs tortillas. So the fit moms were like, um, no, whatever. And so I said, well, let's all close your eyes and I'm going to make you take a taste test and see which one. And the 0, when you see like a tortilla that says 0 net carbs, do you approve? Do you disapprove? Like the nutritional counselor in you? What do
Um
you have
Just
on
go look at
that?
the
I
ingredients.
I personally don't enjoy those products just because there's like 50 ingredients.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the corn tortilla that's just corn. Or the
Right.
cassava tortilla or the flour tortilla that's just the
Yeah.
thing.
The whole food.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just the thing.
Right.
Whereas
How many ingredients are in a banana?
one.
So that's
Or
what
do we
our
even
nu-
call that an ingredient? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's the
But
fruit,
our
you know?
nutritionist that we used to work with a long time ago, Dr. Phil Goglia, he taught us that what the less ingredients, the better. And he would make, I mean, I remember Trevor was ripped, but he would have to eat like 17 times a day. But everything, like even he would like, you have to have a tortilla with blah, 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 but it's a single ingredient. If you look at those net carb or those nonsense ones, you look at the
Mhm.
back and it's like all these fillers and like
Mhm.
horrible. So even like non-fat, it's all chemicals. You don't drink non-fat milk or skim milk. You actually get fatter because your body doesn't know what these chemicals are.
Mhm.
You know, like it's so
Yeah, and you're
stigmatized.
just you're stripping the nutrients from the normal whole source
Right.
of
We
the of
we
the
Right.
went through
thing.
that phase, remember? Like low fat, that
Yeah.
whole thing was such a scam.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's a
actually
lot of
made you
it's a lot of phase.
fatter.
There's a lot of phases.
So
Yeah.
that's just a label lie being told to
Well,
people that heard somewhere that 0 net carbs, because you said carbs are vilified.
Yeah, and so the net carb thing is kind of interesting to me because what it is it's the carb amount subtracted from the fiber. So that's the net carb. So you take the carb amount and the fiber amount, subtract that. That's what people call the net carb. For me, a carb's a carb. Like take the whole thing as it is. Like,
Yeah.
and so I think that it's important to get what you need out of it, but the fiber part is super super important too. Whereas getting a diverse diet in you is the best way you can go. As
and
many
there's
colors and different types of proteins throughout the week. Like, sure, for me, like as I've struggled through different parts of recovery, I've had to stick to the same things certain days because it takes away my brain energy if I don't, and it becomes a stressful situation. So I do have back pocket things that I lean onto when I'm having tough days. But as far as like trying to get as much as you can, one, don't make it a chore, don't make it like a job because that takes the joy out of food. Like making eating a job makes it twice as much so stressful and exhausting, and it just doesn't make it enjoyable. And I also find that even for people with even the cooking part, like I heard something the other day and it made me laugh. They're like, who would have thought I had to do math, like all these things to cook? Like, it's just
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I just want to cook. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's true. You like, and I think just building a staple base in your pantry so you have those go-to things, even in your freezer, so that when it comes to the point when you do only have those 10 minutes to make something, you can throw something together. And it's not an exhausting
What are
thing.
your staples for like fridge and freezer for everyone listening?
I think the freezer section is one of my favorites.
Really?
I always have like bags of frozen broccoli and peas, artichoke hearts, because you can easily throw them on a sheet pan, roast them in the
When
oven.
they're frozen, I always wondered this. Are they stripped of anything?
They're
Like
actually
as far
more
as fresh?
they're actually more nutrient.
Really?
Wow.
dense
Love
than-
this.
You heard it here on
Then-
Neil
What
Radio.
about what about when they say, "Oh, you know that if you put that in a blender, it strips the nutrients." Is that true?
No, not to my knowledge. There's
Right.
there's
Could it be like TikTok doc
probably
where it's like, "Did you know?" And then now you're like, "Oh my God, this man is going to save my life. I better follow him."
but it's also like when you chew, that's like a blender. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it's
That's
like,
true. That is
so
true.
Yeah.
you chew and swallow, but I do prefer chewing food. Like I do think that like drinking calories and drinking all those things, I prefer to chew. But that's
Yes.
just probably from my background as well. Like
Right.
I'm
You want to
missed
make
out on so
sure
many years of chewing that I've got a lot of catching up to do.
for sure.
So, but I do think it's just more satiating too, because you get the breakdown of the fiber and you're using your teeth too, which I think is super
And I
important.
will say, by the way, I'm like kind of like an 80-20 person. So I have my days where I'm like, I'm getting Taco Bell. Hell yeah.
Sure.
And like I'll go eat and I never feel bad because I'm like, one day isn't gonna be the end of the world. And I don't, or like I'm like, I haven't had a burger, I feel my body's craving a burger and I'll go get In and Out. Like I'm not 100% like health, 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 but I don't let it. I think if like I eat well most of the time, you can go to a nice restaurant, splurge on dessert, have some pasta. Like it doesn't matter, but it's being
It's the
able to bring it back.
recurring.
Bring it back. And some people can't, their brains can't. Like I know from my husband when he gets off, he's learning now. I'm like, I want you to learn moderation, or my parents struggle. It's like every week was like a new diet. I'm like, there shouldn't be diets. Just learn how to eat healthy. But I don't know that not every brain can do
And
that,
it's
right?
not necessarily like I've just been learning through therapy and all the things. It's not always about the food. There's more to it.
Mm.
It's either something from childhood or you didn't feel safe emotionally, physically. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
like
you're
there's other
stuffing it's
yeah,
comfort.
exactly.
Yeah.
Whether each way, whatever or it's a source of control or
Yeah.
something. So it's more than just the food.
100%.
Is it oversimplifying if I think it's well, it's definitely relieving an anxiety.
Yeah, 100%.
And then it's because some people just say, I just enjoy it. Like, and I'm like, is it that simple? Like, it just depends on what else is happening, I think.
Totally.
I mean, I did not enjoy being starving all the time. I did not.
Right.
I've white
Very
knuckled my
difficult.
way through life so much. It's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
And even if you're on the other end of the spectrum, like there's some piece inside of you that knows this is not an enjoyable way to live. And it's just like taking those baby steps to get out of it. And for me, the longest time I felt like I was such a failure because of thinking I needed to do it alone. I need to get help
Mm.
alone.
Mm.
Um, I would not be here where I am now if I did not
Get the help.
do the thing, check
Yeah.
myself into treatment, and just like be my own best cheerleader if I can.
Because I noticed that you said the last one the treatment that you had was the one that really worked the best.
Yeah,
So then there were some that just didn't click in. So
yeah.
then people shouldn't give up if
No, don't give up. It was a different point. Like, and even treatment has evolved from when I was in high school. This was, gosh, I don't know. I'm 32 now. I can't do the math, but my first treatment was actually at UCLA. So that was actually you're like in the hospital, seventh ward, kind of like flew over the cuckoo's nest kind of situation. Not that extreme, but like you only one door in, one door out, white walls, like that kind of situation. Thankfully, nowadays, it depends on how extreme you are, but nowadays, like 3 years ago when I came here to LA, I lived in a house. So there were eight other people, and then we all lived in one home, like a big house. So that was much more comfortable, I guess I should say, or facilitated recovery a little bit better
to be
than
around
than being in a hospital.
isolated
Yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah.
Like we could go sit outside and that kind of thing. So
I love the fact that we can experience something once and it could be sort of helpful and then it stops helping and then you can have another experience that gives you the faith that you can get through. Life is not just a one hit wonder. We don't have like one experience and one treatment doesn't mean that you've lived everything and it's not going to work. I that's what I think keeps the wheels turning
Yeah.
in
Was there
our
something that I know I'm reverting back to Crystal because it's just so crazy that we had these two, but she was telling us that when she always felt a little chubby in school and then
and she wasn't.
she wasn't. And then she saw a video at 11 years old that they showed on eating disorders in school. So that's what gave her the idea to go get this like poisonous thing at the
I
market
see.
that she put in the cart.
Oh, it used to
At,
be a household item that a lot of people could keep in their cabinets that they've had to pull from the shelves because it ended up being a way that
it would
kids
make her
could.
vomit.
Got
And
it.
so, but she got the idea at 11 from being presented about eating disorders in school. So it's always, I know everyone has their own story, but if you want to
For me,
share.
I still haven't been able to kind of like hit the hammer on the nail, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Growing up for me was really hard.
Mhm.
There was a lot of my parents, like, I love my parents to death, but we were the kind of like the party house. Like,
Mhm.
we had all the holidays, we had all the parties. Like, the beer is always stocked with in the fridge in the garage, and people were always over.
Sounds fun.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's my goal
yeah,
for my kid
yeah.
for
Fun,
sure.
but it doesn't
Fun.
We
feel
always want to
safe
be
for a
the
kid.
hub,
fun,
but
it was really hard for me because like there was so much noise all the time,
Mm.
and I
Doesn't make you feel safe.
no,
yeah,
and
you need the
and
calm too.
yeah, and so growing up,
Mhm.
emotions weren't a thing in my family either. So I'm just learning about emotions now in my 30s, but
There were
I
sounds like you
was
had siblings.
yeah, I had an older brother, but we were 6 years apart, so it was like very different.
Oh,
So I
interesting.
was kind of like an only child in a way. But like when my parents would have parties, like I would go upstairs in my room and just like be alone and stay up there because it was too noisy
Quiet.
and too much for me down there. And then that's how I kind of got involved in cooking, because if I wanted to be around people, like the kitchen was the only place where I felt I can kind of like have my own little corner, and then everybody
Mhm.
could be on the outside. If you wanted to
Mhm.
talk to me, great, but you can't come in the kitchen.
That's right. That's right.
So that and then my therapist has told me the way my brain has saved me during those times was eating disorder, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around. I find it very interesting. But in a way it became something I could control.
Correct.
Yeah, and so but I also overexercised immensely. So like I was living off a banana a day and then would be working out probably like 5-6 hours a day.
And your
So
parents wouldn't notice?
oh, they did.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think I have so much empathy for them too, because it's like I can't imagine what it's like watching your child dwindle to nothing and have
Yeah.
all these habits and all these things.
And we
But
didn't have a lot of resources
no,
like we
there
do
weren't.
today.
No. So, but yeah, and I'm very much a person like once I get in a routine, it's hard to get me out, and so I worked out all the time. I like the habits I had. I just
But also
are
when you're
terrible.
growing up in
Shocking.
chaos,
Yeah.
my husband's like that. Like he's also like very routine because it makes you feel safe when you're living in a home that's unpredictable. Even to this day, if we walk in somewhere, I'll ask, well, how's it going to be? How many people are, like he's not so bad anymore, but it was more about how do I control the situation? So maybe just that was a
Yeah.
way of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I don't, there was never really like one distinct thing that I could say kind of got me
It's
going
more of a
on it.
control.
And to be honest with you, like it was never about being small or skinny. Like that was
Well,
never a thing
then
for
what?
me. It was
Control.
it was just control.
Yeah.
And it was just like
For peace, like over your mind.
But even toddlers today, they're if you notice, like um things where they go and they won't eat. And people will be like, they won't open their mouth, and it's their only form of control over their parents at that age, right? So
Well,
it
my
makes
kid,
sense.
when I tell my kid it's bath time, he'll say, "My body, my choice."
He's the best.
That's priceless.
So they teach him.
I love Sharon.
So I'm like, yeah, okay, I got it. You're flipping the script.
I guess just make sure you wash the sheets a couple extra times.
So cute. So Danielle made us some bites. And
Yes.
I will say the first one, and then I'm gonna let you explain the others, but the first one are these protein almond butter cups. They almost look like
Kind of like a Twix bar.
kind of like what?
A Twix bar.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's in like a peanut butter cup the same way like Reese's are and Justin's are, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they have become my addiction. I went to play in a tennis tournament this past weekend, and I wrote to Danielle, I'm like, can you send me like 4 boxes of them? I want to take them down for the team because they're so packed with nutrition. I'll eat one before a match or before sometimes a big workout, and they have become my addiction. Or if I have a sweet tooth, I'll cut a little piece off. Will you tell the audience what is in them?
Sure. So the base is kind of like a shortbread cookie. There's protein powder, there is almond flour, there is some maca for kind of it gives you like a little butterscotchy flavor, but also energy, and it's great for hormones.
Wow.
And then there's a little coconut oil to bind it, and then the caramel layer is a little bit of maple, some almond butter, and vanilla, and then the top layer is chocolate, and then some cacao as well.
When you say maca, is that something you can get in the store and put like in anything?
Mhm.
Is
So
it like
It's like
what does it
an
look like?
adaptogen in a way. It's like
this is a piece.
it's a powdered form.
Okay.
This is a
Um,
piece of it. We cut them into fours, but I don't know if you guys can see.
That looks really yummy.
Yeah. So
That
try.
looks incredible.
You got to try
Thank
by.
you.
and
Okay.
then
Should try. And then what do we have here? These are protein balls,
those
right?
Mm.
are peanut butter balls.
Wow, peanut butter balls.
So kind of like
Cut.
a Reese's peanut butter cup that makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the savory option is a sun-dried tomato spinach frittata, which I love frittatas. I think they are literally
So
I always
good.
Oh.
make one every week for myself. I call it the clean out the fridge meal.
I was
Whatever
gonna say,
I need to
veggies you
start
have,
ordering this from you too for breakfast.
whatever
but-
whatever you have in the fridge, I kind of throw in. That's how I kind of like clean out my
the before they turn.
Yeah,
Before everything
What's
turns.
in the? Is it just egg and veggies?
So this one has some sautéed spinach and sun-dried tomatoes, and then some cottage cheese, eggs,
Why not?
and some spices. And
I
you
need to
just
start ordering these.
and you
from
just bake it up.
Thank you.
So
This
it's
is
a
the one-
quick, easy
you guys
way.
can all see this on YouTube. And do you post some of your recipes,
I
right?
do. I do.
Wow.
Okay.
I have
so
some
we'll-
on my Instagram and then some on my website.
It was so good.
producers over there. Why don't you guys? Producers over there. Why don't you guys take a bite? This is so good. So good, guys. So
Thank you very much. So the frittata is something I need every morning because when I, like I'm on the go. Sorry, I'm gonna
Yeah, they're a
alternate
great.
bites right now.
They're on the great.
I'm
They're a great
alternating
thing that
chocolate
has
and-
on the go. And I think
Exactly.
even some simple like doing like making a batch of overnight oats for people at home or something that's easy grab on the go because the morning is really how you win your day is starting your day with something that makes you feel good.
Right.
Skipping a meal like let me just tell you from my background, don't fast, people. Like you fast when you're asleep.
So no intermittent
That's right.
fasting.
I don't think it's a good thing. I really
I
don't.
heard it's not good for your hormones.
Exactly, especially for females. I'm not saying you have to like have a full spread when you wake up, but I think it's a good thing to help start your day. It's like an easy win because if you were waiting until 10 or 11 to like eat your first meal, you have already missed so many opportunities to help fuel your body before that. And even like for kids who are in sports and all those things, it's like it's important to eat throughout the day so that you're not only nourishing yourself for your sport, but for recovery and all the things as well.
What about so now my daughter's on this train too because she used to wake up hungry, but my daughter and son, especially my son, he just will not eat the first half of the day. He's like, I'm not hungry, and then he just goes to town the second half of the day. He's starving,
starving.
right? He'll eat like
Yeah.
if there's pizza, let's just say he'll want like 8 slices because he hasn't eaten, and I'm like, this is not healthy. But they're like, we're not, and I used to be like that as a kid.
Yeah.
I'd get up for breakfast and back then we drank juice, but I'd
Yeah.
be so thirsty.
Mhm.
I'd have no appetite. My mom would be eat breakfast. I'm like, I can't. And then basically I would have a glass of juice, which is the worst thing. I had such blood sugar problems. I would get nauseous. So why is that?
I think a lot of times it's in our head.
Mm.
I do. I really do. And I think also that again it goes back to the start small. Like say like, oh, Hannah, can we just have one bite of yogurt? Or can we have like one bite of an egg? And then eventually she might be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I can do this. And
Because
then
she's shifted. She
yeah,
used to be
'cause it's
starving
one
in the
bite.
morning.
yeah, just start with one bite.
Okay.
Literally one bite
Okay.
of something that and
Or
eat.
what about like a protein smoothie for the kids?
Exactly.
Okay.
But again, try to not like healthify label it. Does that make sense? Like
That's right.
don't be like, oh, this is healthy for you. Like just be like, here, let's start the day with this now.
Mhm.
Instead of like we put so many labels on so many foods that it confuses us all. I think even the poor kids, like they already have enough distractions with social media and all the things. Like they see all the things, trust me, all the health, it comes at them, even though I wish it did not. But I think just being like, oh, let's try 2 sips of this for this morning. And then a small one, maybe then they'll just like start like pounding it back.
I
But
tell my kid, because I'm also teaching myself the same, is this is going to make me feel good. This is going to
Exactly.
make my body stronger.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the bites? Okay,
And
love
they're giving us the
We're gonna get some
Thumbs up.
feedback
Ooh la
right
la.
here. We got
I'm
the
try-
audience.
I'm trying to urgently order. How can we order this incredible, delicious, healthy?
You
food.
can DM me on Instagram. That's probably the best way.
And how about those folks that maybe aren't local? Are you able to send them food?
I can freeze it and then ship it to them, or I can also help them support them in any way that they need in the kitchen.
Oh, so
Whether
they
that
can do like a consult with
Yeah,
you? Okay,
whether
great.
that be like
And
help them if they're struggling with meal planning, or just
I
even
really
like
like that.
getting their fridge and pantry stocked properly, or just getting with ideas and that kind of thing, I can happily help with that too.
Okay, this is absolutely spectacular. I am not even joking. We had the
Thank
little
you.
egg frittatas,
so good.
the balls.
Love saying that, don't you?
Yes, I do, I guess. But really, really satisfying and filling.
Thank you.
And you've had the protein cups. Well, literally. I write
Incredible.
Danielle like once a week. I'm like, are you sure these are good for me? Like, because I literally have an addiction. But also I was saying earlier, like anytime I have a sweet tooth, I can go grab and Danielle, on your website, you do post some recipes,
Yeah,
right? To
I do.
share. And you have a beautiful Instagram that shows like you cooking. What is that Instagram? So
Chef Danielle Christy.
Chef Danielle Christy. So people can go on there. Her link to her website is on there. And then plus, you guys can DM her for any questions, or you can do consultations. And I think you guys will get a lot out of it for anyone that, is looking to improve their nutrition and eat healthy. Or a lot of us live in a society now where you just don't have time. You don't have time. We're cooking quick things. And this is a nice, and my kids are picky, but Danielle does make kid food. Like she
Yeah.
has a spin on chicken tenders and all different kinds of things that, if your kids aren't so picky, I think my kids now would start to maybe eat it, but she does do it in a healthy version.
All about it. I mean, I can't tell you. I know that I like and that we all will like food that we are eating, knowing that it's healthy instead of the BS that, the drive-throughs are more expensive than ever. I mean, I don't mind if someone wants to go to a drive-through once in a while at all, but you're also paying like $50 for McDonald's nowadays.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's not even
Yeah.
really a
Yeah, you
big
are.
deal. We've all seen the documentaries on what it's doing to people's bodies. So just the idea of people repeatedly putting bad things
Yeah.
in that,
Yeah. If you could tell people at home what's like maybe 3 to 5 things that you should replace or eliminate out of your kitchen, fridge, or freezer today, what would you say?
I would say first take stock of what you're actually using. I go into a lot of people's kitchens and I find things from like 2005.
Oh my
So,
God.
so
Like
just-
spices? and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah, even like canned goods, like things like really do a diligent inventory. And then that will not only save you time, but also saves you money. And I kind of try to tell this to people when they grocery shop each week. Grocery shop your pantry and your fridge first, and then go to the store. Because a lot of times we are buying things and we don't really need them. But for me personally, like seed oils.
So
They're
tell
not-
people what not everyone knows exactly what seed oil
So
is.
seed oils, canola oil, vegetable oil, cottonseed oil, saffron oil, like all of these oils that are very shelf stable in a lot of foods. They're not providing any nutrients for your body.
And they're inflaming you, or
For a lot of people they can be. For some
Yeah.
people they don't.
Okay.
But they're not giving you anything.
And so replace it with avocado oil,
Olive oil and coconut oil. And then with olive oil, you do want to make sure for all the oils, don't buy them in plastic. Buy them in like ceramic glass jars. Keep them away from the sunlight, or don't put them on top of your oven because that's how they get rancid. So keep them like in a cool, dark place.
Does the Primal Kitchen, is that what you mentioned for a brand that you like?
For avocado oil, yeah,
For
their
avocado oil?
is great.
Okay.
Their condiments are good too.
I was going to ask you if there's a brand that you can trust that if you're not, because if I'm making salad at home, I am not making the salad dressing from scratch.
Yeah.
So what kind of,
Primal Kitchen's great. Side dish is also another great one.
okay.
And those are probably the two I would say that actually taste good
I
and
like,
have good ingredients.
there's one called Open Nature and it comes in a glass bottle and it's lemon. It's, I'm probably
Persian.
going to text you a picture.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
so Persian of me.
Lemon. I
Lemon,
love-
garlic, and
I
yeah,
try to scour
olive
that
oil.
aisle. I make my own
Yeah,
for
right.
myself and the
Exactly.
clients.
Like if she makes you a
So,
salad,
You're
she
a
sends
chef.
a homemade.
I don't purchase them that
Right.
often,
Yeah.
but
That would be anti-chef of
yeah.
you. Very
Okay, anything out of the fridge, or I know processed sugar, obviously.
Yeah, I
What,
would say if you can stick to maple, dates, coconut.
what about agave?
But,
Is that bad?
I don't personally use it very often.
So you would
People-
say maple syrup over agave is
Yeah.
healthier?
and honey,
Really?
for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're getting more polyphenols and more nutrients from both.
Okay.
And then
What about cottage cheese? Is that healthy?
I love cottage cheese. Yeah,
Okay.
but get the full fat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the full
yeah,
fat
yeah,
is the way to go.
yeah.
Same with yogurt. Get the full
Yeah,
fat.
yeah.
Don't do
Nobody
the
get
non-fat.
like 2%
Yeah.
non-fat skim milk, please.
Okay.
We are over that
I
era.
didn't even
It's
know.
poison.
Oh,
Just
okay.
get the whole thing. Get the
Get
whole
the
thing.
whole thing.
Get
The
more bang.
non-fat
Get more
make you
bang
fat.
for more bang for your buck.
What about the food you said was good for your hormones? What was the one that you said was good for your hormones?
Oh, maca is
Maca?
something that's good for your hormones. But
Okay.
again, so with any of these kind of like supplements, powders, adaptogens, and all those things, like really start small and really pay attention to how it affects your body. Because some people it can be an amazing thing, and then some people it can be detrimental. So really take caution and don't just like, and also don't try 40 things at once because
Right,
that
'cause then
then
you're
you
not
don't know.
knowing. Right. What is
What
an
about
adaptogen?
An adaptogen is something, so there's like reishi mushroom, ashwagandha. They really help with like your cortisol levels and hormone levels and kind of can help balance you out in different
Nice.
ways.
Yeah, those are
So
some of the
it's helping
vitamins.
your body adapt. Isn't what an
yeah, in a way,
adaptogen
yeah.
does?
Exactly.
And what about people are really into like what about, I know some of the hormone doctors, they use like seed cycling. And so they use like flaxseed and chia seeds. Do you use some of those seeds?
Oh, I
in your
use those seeds
cooking?
all the time.
Yeah.
But again, I find that as another like source of exhaustion in the health space. Like
Yeah.
just eat them. Like this doesn't matter what phase you are in. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just enjoy
Yeah.
them. They can be helpful for some people. But I just find that again as like exhausting. Like they're great for fiber. Like Zen basil seeds, absolutely love. Great for fiber. But just like incorporate those throughout your weeks and your months and get some like different things in.
Do you guys compost when you're cooking so much? Does that mean that you take your food that's not trash and you just bury it in the ground? What are we doing? I don't know. You don't.
What's cooking?
But I'm just like
I
just
gave up
felt like
years
the
ago.
right time to ask about that.
If I didn't live in an apartment, like I do save the scraps and put it. We have a bin like in the alleyway that you can
Do
put
that
your
if you
scraps
wanted.
in. But I don't personally like have a hole and do the thing.
Right.
Like,
Oh, I would be
people do the
burying
thing.
them.
Yeah, you bury it, you let the worms eat it. Like it's a
Oh.
whole
MJ's really
process.
random in her questions.
That was
You'll
random, but
notice.
no, because today when I was walking the dog, there was clearly like a raccoon or a wolf or whatever walks around in the neighborhood.
Oh gosh.
Coyote. There was
Yeah,
a
there's
coyote.
coyote.
They had gone through, and I saw eggshells, and I was like, I wonder if coyotes can eat the eggshells, if it's nutritious. I mean, they eat whole living animals. So
that is,
yeah.
that is
I just
I mean,
figured.
eggshells are great for soil. They add
There we go.
nutrients.
There we go. Oh, they're good for soil. See,
Yeah.
I figured you could teach me something about that just in case.
that's so funny.
If we have another pandemic and we're all at home for another 2 years.
We're all calling Danielle.
We are.
Can you please make me food? Like he's sending him an Uber. Okay, so we are gonna wrap it up, but once again, let us know your Instagram handle.
Chef Danielle Christy.
So, and Christy is Christy.
Yes.
Chef Danielle Christy on Instagram. You can get to her website through there. You guys can DM her and you can go on her website if you want other services.
This was so fun.
So fun and
Thank you for
informative.
having
Thank
me.
you for bringing us the treats.
Of course.
And I'll be using you for the rest of my life, so you can't go anywhere.
I know. I'm definitely gonna hit you up for some recipes, some counseling, some
Yeah.
meal delivery. I want the food on the go. We need to. We deserve you.
Yeah,
and
we do.
I think for people at home, like you're all doing the best you can. Just try to not be so hard. I think the less judgment we can put on ourselves, the better we will all be, and the less judgment we can give to others.
Amen, sister.
But I
Amen.
just think like try to not make it such a stressful situation. Life is already so stressful enough.
Agreed, because
that-
I know people that are so stressed out about everything that's bad for you that I actually think they're making themselves sick.
Exactly.
Like you're the
Mhm.
emotional part of that. So
Yeah.
you gotta, 80-20 rule.
100%.
Enjoy your life.
And
Take it
life's
with a
way,
grain of salt.
life's
Although
way
we
too
didn't
damn
talk
short.
about salt. We didn't talk about if you like pink Himalayan salt.
I use pink salt
She's
or
got
sea
it.
salt.
Yeah, I love Redmond real salt. That's the main salt I cook with. Diamond kosher salt is great too.
Okay.
But Redmond real salt has more bang for your buck.
Is
in
that
it.
different than pink salt?
It's a
Red
it's a little
mineral
bit.
salt. Oh.
It's just a more mineralized salt,
Oh,
so you get a little bit more minerals.
Mineral salt. Thanks for asking,
Okay,
MJ.
yeah.
Love your questions.
But also just make sure you salt your food too, because
salt
that's
is
important.
very
Salt's
good for
very
you.
important.
Right.
Very
It's
good
how
for
you get your flavor in your food.
Now, this is a follow up. When you said I like to chew because I'm going to chew blender versus if we're putting it in a smoothie so that we can do the on the go,
Yeah.
you're still
Make sure you're
basically-
putting the whole fruit in there. Like put the whole apple, put with the skin
With
and
the
all
stem,
the feeds.
right.
Not you don't have to put the like core part, but
not the
you don't have to put the core.
I meant the
seeds.
strawberry with the green.
You're gonna really get some fiber. but yeah, like throw the whole fruit in there, the skin, all the things. Like throw some spinach, whatever you got
I do the
going in there. So
spinach.
yeah,
I do. I try to do a very little amount of date because I know that dates can be, and like I can skip the peanut butter, but the
make
spinach.
sure you do put
is-
fat in there because if you don't metabolize the vitamins from all the fruits.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
really
because
Because there's
brilliant.
a lot
also
of
like a
fat soluble vitamins.
What's a
in
good fat
fruits.
soluble ingredient?
So you could use a nut butter. You can use coconut milk
avocado?
Yeah, avocado.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
just make sure you get some fat in there, because or else you're not absorbing a lot of the vitamins of your
Okay.
foods.
So can I officially send you my list of what I put and then we'll share it on the gram?
Sure.
Like this is a Chef Danielle approved breakfast smoothie.
Sounds great.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh. I'm so
Well, thank you
excited.
for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for
this
having
was very
me.
informative for everyone at home, and thank you for being so open because I think
thank
you're
you.
going to help a lot of people out there, and it just shows you like you guys can still look good, feel good, be skinny, and like eat and
Healthy.
enjoy yourself.
Healthy,
Right?
yeah.
All right, guys.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
See ya. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this week's episode of Heal to Feel. You can write in and ask your questions on our show's IG page at H2F Pod, and we'll address your questions on next week's episode. If this episode helped you, we would love for you to share it with your friends and family. Share the fun with all those that can benefit from a good laugh or cry with us. Please rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we would greatly appreciate you.